What's up, you guys? Welcome to episode 19 of the 20 to 40 podcast. We're here giving you everything that really helped us grow 20, 30, and 40. And today on episode 19, we're going to be talking about the differences in dating habits, personal life between millennials and Gen Z, and even really a trend. I saw this and I was really like, damn, that kind of caught my eye. Gen Z and even Americans in general, since the COVID, are having record low levels of sex. And this is one stat I was like, whoa. So CDC found that.
I couldn't even keep a straight face.
I'm trying to.
Whoa!
Yo, this is real stuff,
I saw
man.
that stat and I was like, whoa, we gotta talk about this.
I'm like, yo, man, this is big stuff, bro. So, okay,
Pause.
2021 found that 30% of teens are having sex, a significant drop just from 2019 from 38%. This is a big one. Gen Z adults have reported that 1 in 4 reported no sexual activity in a given year. Now, what they're also like contributing these to are slow life factors like delayed milestones like marriage, college, home ownership, economic instability. And this is another one that is kind of impacting as well, which I think is a bigger, broader issue, is that fertility rates in the US have dropped to 1.6 average children per woman in 2023, which is below our replacement level just to maintain our population at 2.1. So we're a half a kid behind even replacing, which usually tends to signify that a culture is going into like more of an age culture and they're past their peak, which I hope that's not the case here in the US. But wanted to talk to you guys about this. You know, some people contributed to changes in culture, changes with social media and how people communicate, less interpersonal, in-person interactions. Do these young cats just not have game? I don't know. Was that not in the curriculum? But what I want to ask you guys is, you know, all of us have, you know, friends, siblings, or even coworkers that are in this next generation. What do you think is impacting some of these things versus, you know, our generation and generations past? Some of the things they talked about was COVID and instability, social media. What do you think? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's an issue? And what do you think are some things impacting it?
You know, I think there has been a big shift, right? I think when we were 20s, shoot, all you had to do was have dress nice, have good hygiene. You know, I was I was pulling up in like a 95 neon. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't, but we also didn't have social media, right? Like didn't no one know what you didn't know. We were all just stunting from Pep would pull up in the Ford Escort. You know what I'm saying? Like we would be bumping off of the CD player with the tape in the tape deck. You know what I mean? Like that was just what it was, and we didn't know any different. But life was great. The girls were great. You know what I'm saying? We had tons of fun. You know what I'm saying? We did these things, but I think now, like I always joke with my wife. I'm like, there ain't no way I'm trying to be single in 2025. Like one, everyone's on an app, right? Which how do you put everything you need to do in an app on what you're looking for and what you're trying to find, right? And then depending on what kind of app you on is basically what you're trying to do, right? Are you looking for, I'm looking for a long-term relationship with, I have a dog and I like hiking, or are you just trying to get on Tinder and just see what's out there? You know what I mean? But I think social media has also put it where as a guy, if you don't have like a job, like a job that women find worthy enough, right? Or the income or the lifestyle, right? And stuff is expensive now. So if you don't got all that, I'm sure if there's one thing I hate is rejection, right? Like if you go up and you just like, what's up? And they're like, ugh. All right. Uh, I can only take too many more of those before I'm gonna say nah to just, I'm gonna let them come to me, right? And then that's when they ain't coming to you, bro. That ain't how it works. And if they are, watch out, because they coming for you, bro. They coming for you. So I think I think there is issues with just what the lifestyle is of relationship. And I do also understand the fact that, we aren't having kids, but why aren't we having kids? I know I'm not having any more kids after these two, just for the simple fact it's expensive. You got to house them, you got to feed them, you got to clothe them, and then as a parent, and then you got to, I got my wife, and you still got to keep that fire lit. You know what I'm saying? You can't just put all your time and energy into the kids and all this other stuff and then lose the connection with your partner, which is hard nowadays too, of trying to find that time. Okay, when the kids are all done and you finally got some downtime, you got like an hour or two before bed because you got to go to work the next day. What do I do? You sit downstairs, you just watch TV, scroll your phone together and stuff. You're not really interacting and stuff anymore. So while I think the younger kids aren't having sex because of other, it's hard out here, to find them and get them, and then also show them that you worth something because they ain't just giving it like that, And but even for married men and those older guys, like what I'm saying, trying to keep that spark going and making sure that it's a priority. You know what I'm saying? Because if you are what you prioritize, and if there's a lot of other priorities that I see that other people are having other than sex. But we also know a healthy sex life is good for for you and your mental health and your body. Like it's okay to get a couple off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good for you guys. It's good. Like do that. And if you ain't, you probably really stressed and you probably really on edge, my guy. Like gotta get that out there, man.
Today's message, man. Go get that. Go get that, man. How? I don't figure it out, but you gotta get it. You gotta get it. What are we talking about? Oh man, to your original question, man, the first things that were popping up to my head with those stats were good, and then you said another stat, and I was like, good, and I was just thinking, this is good. I don't know. For me, the world is way too populated. We sit up here and complain, and me as a tax paying adult, as a 40-year-old, why is this little broke ass 17-year-old out here fucking, in high school, and now I gotta pay for three of her kids to fucking have dinner at night, all this, welfare state shit that we're in. So personally, if these kids want to not have sex and focus on careers or how expensive things are or whatever, good. It's too many people, and then too many people who shouldn't be having kids because they're fucking too early and they don't know how to protect themselves. So that's why when you were saying those stats for me, I was like, good. Now the issue that I think kind of surrounds that, I think I had sent you guys an article in the group chat, was to me it was the most obvious one, because obviously we have Tinder and a lot of online and social media things. I will say social media, you get to know too much about somebody too fast. Like you said. So for the most part, if your social media, let's say you go to the gym a lot and all your posts are gym pictures. Well, before you would meet this person and maybe get to know them, and you realize that they used to be really fat when they were in elementary school, so that's why they go to the gym a lot. It makes sense. They're not just a gym bro. There's something behind that, and it's actually passionate, and that makes you like them more. Now they meet you, get your number, exchange social, and then they see, oh, he's a gym bro, and they cut it off. So I think that's one problem too. They're not getting to know each other on a personal level. It's what does their page say. And then the other one that I brought up to you guys was the glasses. Like they're recording you on glasses, they're recording you in the clubs. Like when we went to the club, I mean, I wish we had those videos because we had a lot of fun. But that's just it. We didn't feel like everything we did. Sometimes there was a fat babe that needed love, and I'm gonna do a little something with her because it's Friday night or Saturday night. I'm out with my boys and we're gonna have some fun. But now, if you're gonna record it, and now they're posting it on some website or some meme page, and now you're the laughing stock possibly of that week. And I think that stops a lot of people as well from going out, interacting with each other, and having fun because there's cameras everywhere, and not by choice anymore. We used to record ourselves, but it was like we knew. I mean, again, our videos and stuff I pulled up last week, it's in my archive. That's not getting posted nowhere. You don't want it to get posted nowhere. So watch your tone, all right? But yeah, I would say good. Those numbers sound good to me. It's too much of a welfare state. But then the other reasons I think also attribute to that aren't just the social media, but just the fact that it's hard to have fun nowadays without feeling like somebody's gonna put you on blast and embarrass you online.
I could definitely see that last point. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And I don't know if the numbers are a bad thing. You're right. Should people be having as much sex? You definitely unprotected. A kid at a young age outside of, committed marriage is tough. Doesn't, really set a lot of people up for success. So definitely could see that. And I think also one thing that has changed because of social media is the emphasis on the checklist and the stats that people are looking for, whether it's guy or girl, right? A guy usually looking for physical, like even in the last like 10, 15 years, the amount of plastic surgery, like it used to be like maybe 5, 10%. Now it's like 40 to 60% of body, face, cosmetic stuff, lip filler, all this stuff. And I'm not saying that all of it's bad, but what I am saying is I think so much is getting placed on the importance of these checklists. Is she this curvy? Is she, sexy? Is she looking a certain way? And then for females, like personally, I never remember like girls asking for me for money or send me a cash app or, if he doesn't take me to this place first, like we're not talking, right? It was usually like, hey, let's go grab some coffee and let's just hang out or, grab a drink hanging out as a group. And now it seems to be more like, yo, if you're not taking me here, if you're not sending me money, if you're not paying for this and this and that, then I'm not even going to give you a chance. And I think what that starts to do is it starts to put all the emphasis on all these external things, which none of it has to do with their personality, your compatibility, their deeper traits like, compassion, love, their way of feeling towards you, even if you guys like the same things. How many people have I seen together that didn't physically look like a match, but emotionally and mentally, they were the best match? How many people have I seen together that looked like a physical match that didn't personal wise really get together and hang out like that? And I think that's one thing that social media kind of makes people think of step 7 when we haven't even done step 1 and 2. And I definitely think that's something I'm seeing that impacts. And I get it. As having a daughter, would I want her to be with somebody that wasn't a provider, financially stable, and all these things? Absolutely, I would. But at 18, 19, 20, is that going to be able to be established already? No, that's something they kind of got to build together. So I definitely do get that. And I think that does affect it. I think the financial stress of the last 10 to 15 years with 2008, 2012, COVID, all these do start to change things, because that's my next point. New grads are facing one of the biggest unemployment rates in recent decades. It's like they're talking about they're slow to hire right now, impacting new grads, especially in computer engineering, anything to do with coding, which we thought was going to be big careers. And even a lot of Gen Z are actually switching to blue collar jobs, plumbing, HVAC, welding, and all these things, and skipping school altogether, higher education. What do you guys think are some of the trends you're seeing with these things affecting Gen Z? What are some things they can do to circumvent those or go around them? And are they big problems? Should they be scared of these or worry about these or even aware of these? Or is this just normal? Is these things we face? Because honestly, when we came out of school, I graduated college in 2012. I remember something like this going on too, but it did kind of turn around. Is it going to turn around? What do you guys think?
I think the biggest issue they're going to have now is AI, right? I think I saw a stat the other day that AI is actually replacing white collar workers at a faster clip than anybody. And those are jobs that aren't going to come back, right? And we always see white collar jobs as these like, you were in a suit and tie and you're making 6 figures up in the executive suite or doing so, even a lawyer, a doctor, some CEO or engineer or something like that, right? And uh, Gen Z is facing the problem of, try we were lucky, I feel like in our generation that we were allowed to take our time through school, right? We could, it was a safe place. The school was a safe place where I didn't have to grow up yet, right? Like you felt like Peter Pan, like, oh, I'll just stay here forever. And then because then when everyone knows once you get out of college, that's the real world, right? That's when, you know, Ain't no, oh, I'm just calling sick, yeah, we could day drink on Friday, or whatever we're gonna do. You just working now. Once you graduate, you just working and accumulating money and trying to, move yourself up. But the problem that they're going to have is, all right, one, you went to school and you popping out of school now and you ain't getting hired. You got student loans to repay. So then where are they all working now? They're usually working at some service job, right? And that I'm sure most people didn't go spend $100,000, $200,000 a year for school just to go work at a place that they could have been working at the whole time, right? Like it doesn't, there's not your degree skills don't work there. But then what's going to happen is now you have all these people coming in high debt. How are you going to pay that debt off? You're not going to pay that type of debt off doing service work like that. You can move up. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with service work, but what I'm saying is for what you just spent on that education, you're not going to pay that off in a timely manner based on what it is, right? And that would make people not want to have start a family right then, or I would have sex as the last priority if all I'm worried about is food, housing, getting a job, doing all these things that are necessary for life. Like, is sex necessary? Like, you probably should have some, but it's not like you need it. Like, and if you need it like that, bro, you might need like
I
relax
get that.
a little bit, calm down. It's okay.
I
Breathe,
get that.
breathe, stretch, shake it. You know what I'm saying? But this is like one of the worst times to be graduating college. And I think you're right. Going to a blue collar job is good, but they're taking away a lot of those trade schools too. The funding for those trade schools are going down. So you really it's hard to get in anywhere. And then on top of that, you're facing you're competing against AI in some places where you just can't, like, no human is going to outcode AI, right? There's a lot of things that AI are. I think AI is great, but I think when we talked about this on the AI episode, you know what I'm saying? There is a dark side to it, and that could be it. It's what is the job landscape going to look like? Where are the high paying jobs? And where is the mobility, right? Where or are we all just going to be in debt for our life, and you're just working to pay off already owned debt that you'll never pay off and may leave behind. So I get the stress. I get the mental space, because I think when I got out of the military, I was in that same thing. Like, how the hell am I? What kind of job is fueling going to transfer over to in the real world unless I work at an airport? You know what I mean? Like, job stress and job security and life security like that is a very serious thing, and it can be debilitating at times where you think there's no hope of finding a good job, that you're just like fall into some type of addiction or some issue with mental health.
Yeah. Once again, some of the stuff you said, I'm good. I don't know. Like revisionist history. It wasn't that easy when we came out. We talked about it before, Like I was already working in the high school. So I wanted to be a substitute teacher because they made $100 a day. I was like, oh, cool. That's perfect. That's a lot of money to just go fill in for some. You couldn't even get a substitute teaching job. The pool was too full. So I had to, and then I moved up to Temecula area to live with my mom. So mind you, graduated college, went to go live with my mom again. Right? So now I'm 22, living with my mom. So I substitute teach up in this area. And then what hustle, what grind did I really do? The military police job fell in my lap, but there was no hustle, there was no grind. That's what I'm gonna put on my son. Like, so when times get hard like this and the numbers that you were bringing up become a reality, hopefully you have the mentality to fight back. Yeah, it's not just going to be given to you. Just because you went to college, you don't deserve a job. What skill do you have that I should hire you for my white collar or my law firm or my dentist? You know what I mean? So go be an assistant at somebody's front office. There's a bunch of them. Go drive around. Like why do people think they deserve something? So to me, those numbers just tell me that now Americans, because just like he has his passions about Israel, I got mine about China in the last 5 weeks, where I look at their country and I'm like, it's a communist country, they force you to do stuff, but there's no forcing in our country. So I think the numbers will start forcing people to just stop thinking, oh yeah, I'll just go do this. It's like, no, man, what makes you great? What hustle? What work are you putting in? And when I see somebody say, oh, I put in 150 resumes, I'm like, I mean, I guess. I mean, okay, and then you're like, and nobody's hiring. Why should they hire you? What does that mean? Just because you put in a resume, you just get a job? So I like those numbers. I think it'll make America get back to the grind because we used to be that shit. We used to be the people who worked and innovated and all that. Now everybody just wants to work from home, make $100,000, and blah blah. We just the checklist. It's not a checklist, man. It's a fucking hustle. It's some work that needs to be put in, and the work you put in will become your output. But I think again, even when we list jobs, we always list that small list. And as Steven was talking, I was trying to think. I was like, break out that box, and I was like, there's so many, not just blue collar, white collar, or businesses. There's just so much money to be made. But sometimes you just gotta get out of your own way and stop thinking you deserve something and go earn it. And get innovative and figure it out, and go sleep on mom's couch for a little bit, maybe for a year. You know what I mean? Like you'll be all right. But to just think you graduate 100,000, I think that shit's gone out the window, and I think that's a good thing.
And you touched on a good point, which I think is important. Every generation, like, we do have to get better. And maybe these are some of the things that Gen Z is working on, and they seem like a challenge at the beginning, but could be really a blessing in disguise. One thing also that's happening right now is that record low levels of alcohol consumption are happening. I think it used to be as high as almost 54%. Now it's under 50%, which is the lowest in like 90 years, I think, since Prohibition. Um, a lot of entrepreneurs and young people are going to know alcohol for better performance, right? Better sleep, better mental health. And I think one of the things that really piqued my interest is, there is a US American kind of culture, and we are known for hard work, but I also think sometimes we're also known for a lot of BS, to be honest, right? How much alcohol, crappy food, like the people almost laugh at our food. They'll be like, we don't even let that kind of food in our, like if you go to Europe, so many things that are not banned in US are banned over there. Food coloring, certain sweeteners and texturizers, because the American diet is sad, standard American diet, like hot dogs and burgers. This is another stat that I thought was really interesting. China is mandating K through 12 AI education, at least 8 hours annually. As young as 6 years old, they will start to receive AI education. And this is another thing that I saw that was like, whoa. Because, yeah, people, from me and my background, right? I'm a grinder. I saw my mom grind a lot, and I took that on. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Like, I'm a grinder. I'm willing to put in the work. And I think sometimes almost Americans almost celebrate not having to sometimes. And it says this: US average days of school a year, 180. In China, their average academic school year is 245 to 260. So what do we think is going to happen with that, right? And maybe Gen Z is kind of seeing this, like, you got to step your game up. You can't be just going for average or just trying to come out of college. And I took some tests in college and now I'm ready for my thing. Like, Gen Z, this might be your wake up call. Like, hey, we had to do it. I remember coming out of 2008 when the stock market crashed, there was no jobs. And that's why I went back into graduate school, because I was like, I need a career. I need something that's going to really be able to increase my earnings and value in the marketplace. You can't just come on some regular stuff. I think Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, said right now, new graduates are going to have more evolved skills coming into the marketplace, or you're going to face this slow hiring and low hiring environment, because you can't come in with the average stuff anymore. So what do you guys think about that as far as our culture, what we promote, and is Gen Z going to need to step it up, take it to the next level, and kind of elevate in some of these things, whether it be lifestyle, health, low alcohol, bigger work ethic, skill management kind of thing?
They're definitely going to have to pick it up. Like it's a if China's doing it, it's a must. You have to, right? Like, I know I get flack a lot of time just because I do bring up China a lot with a lot of the stuff that we do. And I do it only for the simple fact that our country is richer than China. We have more money than China. So there should be no reason that innovation should be out hustling America. And that isn't just the people, but also our own government, right? The reason why they're getting AI trained at 6 is because their government sees what's coming. Their government has already said that they want Huawei to take out NVIDIA. They're already light years ahead of us on infrastructure. Look at their roads, their bridges, their train system. They have bullet trains that connect everywhere, damn near. And we also have to think, look how big China is as a nation. They have over 1 billion people in their country, and it's no homelessness really. Everyone, I was on Red Note when that whole thing popped out. I'm still on Red Note just so I can see the Chinese culture, right? Like, what do people just love doing stuff over there. And the fact that they can live off of one guy went around, for $20. He's like, 20 American dollars. Let's see how much you can go eat. And my man had to stop eating. He was full. He ate all 3 meals for less than $20 a day. Could you imagine in the US being able to eat 3 square meals every day for under $20? Sign me up. You gotta be communist, okay? Sign me up for $20. And he was showing you what he was eating. He was doing it. Yo, they're McDonald's. Yo, they got real chicken on there, like wings. It's like China is light years ahead of us. But that just means, like you always say, right? Like, you don't go to where the puck's at, you gotta go to where the puck's going. China's showing you where it's going. They're on a whole nother level. They just built, I think I sent it to you, they just built a floating wind turbine that just floats up in the air, catches the wind, and it produces power that it can bring down to the thing. Now, what people have to realize about AI as well is it's going to take a lot of electricity. The electricity and the cost of that electricity on an infrastructure like ours that is trash, like don't get under 20 degrees in Texas or your whole shit going out, right? Like we all saw that when whatchamacallit tried to jump to Cancun when everyone was freezing to death because they
Ted Cruz, shout out to Ted. If you're listening.
Ted Cruz, yeah. Man, I'd never seen a person jump back to the States so fast. They were dogging him on that Cancun trip while his people were freezing.
He was like, we already planned this. Like, no,
yeah, right. I blame my daughters for setting this trip up. That's wild, my guy. That's wild. Throwing the kids under the bus for an adult trip to Cancun is crazy. But I think you have to see where it's coming, right? And you have to see where it's going. And I think the thing about China, the reason our government talks so much about China is they see where they're going. They got their new airplanes. We don't even got Gen 6 airplanes, fighter jets yet. We don't have look, go look, just Google videos of their docks, right? They don't use people that much anymore. It's all automated. Go look at their shipbuilding, right? If we ever got in a war with them and they started shrinking our aircraft carriers, just know they have automated, I think they're called dark manufacturing or dark production, whatever. Robots build all their stuff 24/7. So their shipbuilding for their Navy, their airplanes, everything is automated by robots that allows them to build. We don't have manufacturing production like we did in World War II. I hope people realize that. Manufacturing is dead in this country, right? Like, there's a reason why the big auto brands are trying their hardest on these union contracts to not get forced out with AI and automation, right? There's a reason why the dock workers and the rail workers are fighting so hard with their union companies to fight back against AI and automation, because that's where it's all going to. And you have to realize that what's going to be needed are people to run the robots. People, because they're going to have robots fixing robots, but someone's going to have to monitor the systems of the robots on when to switch them out, when to do this, when to do that. There's going to have to be someone to monitor the AI to make sure that it doesn't go out of control, right? Like that's what OpenAI and all of them are doing now. So you really have to see where it's going, see who's leading, right? America isn't leading in a lot of things anymore. So maybe broaden go look at other places, go see what other countries are doing and innovation and jobs and stuff like, because while we might not have it yet, which is so sad to say, being an American, when Pep is right, we used to be the innovator. We used to be, who the world looked to see how to change things and do things bigger and better. Like, look at the World Trade Center buildings, right? At that time, they were a marvel. The Empire State Building, the Hoover Dam. Like, we've had tons of innovation in this country, but now since we've exported everything away and have everything just imported to us to just buy, and we're a consumption society, it's hard now, right? But that shouldn't stop you from trying to find out where the puck's going next, because it's going to come back here. America, you can see Donald Trump now. He's fighting to get a lot of this stuff back here. He's seeing what everyone's doing and he's trying to get it implemented here. It's going to take a while, but even though it's going to take a while, that's your time to learn, find out, grind, and put yourself in a position to be prepared for when that does pop up. You're ready to take. You could be like, hey, I already did all this, this, and this. I can run that for you. If you need robots fixed, I know how to do that. If you need someone to know how to do AI, I can do that for you. While everyone else is now like, ooh, just like with coding. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna get into coding. Too late. Puck's already passed you, my guy. You got to step up and find a new thing. And that's just what it is. And it sucks. But I think in order for America to get better again, it's gonna take the younger generation of getting better and getting in there and doing it to help bring innovation and all that back to make America. I'm not gonna say it.
Don't worry, I'll put my hat on later. MAGA. I don't think shit, MAGA threw me off. Oh, our government. I don't think our look, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. If you're in a position and you want to keep people from knocking you down, again, we do this podcast because I want to give back. I hope somebody listens to this, gets an idea and says, you know what, I need to stop studying sociology and I need to start, let me research, what does the future bring for the job market? And then maybe I'll start studying that. That'd be great for that person. But directly affecting me, like, like I wanna hustle and be the best I can be, but at my age, I don't want something to happen where somebody takes my job or my position or money from my pockets. So I get how our government runs. When you say that China's government is like, you guys will do this, yo, our government don't even talk about like simple shit like slavery that just makes you a more critical thinker about how this country was built and where it's been and where it's going. They don't even want to talk about that, let alone again, they done took out cooking class, they done took out PE, they took out what is it, the auto mechanic class. We built computers when I was at Sarah High School with Stephen. They took a lot of that stuff out. Again, I was sewing pillows in seventh and eighth grade. We learned how to type. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but I know we're not as open to making the best product we can. It's a very well-oiled machine for, it's what, 1940s, 50s, and 60s. It's like go to school 9 to 5 and then go to a job 9 to 5. And guess what? All the bosses, we already talked about it. The owner's uncle passes it to the cousin, passes to the nephew who went to Harvard, and all them. They're just keeping that. What do you call it when you keep something to yourself? I forgot the
Nepotism.
word. Not even nepotism where it passes on, but they're just gatekeeping. They're just gatekeeping all of those positions. So, but I get it. I get it. I don't expect our government to necessarily say, "Here's the keys to success," because they've never done that. So that part I understand. So what I would say next is, if you're listening to this and you're younger, is like, yeah, man, hop online and just switch it up. When I went to SDSU, I wrote down all the majors that you can pick, and I said, which one do I enjoy? It's a different time though. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe it can't be what you enjoy, but where's the puck going is what you have to choose from, and hopefully that leads you to a successful path. But that would be my suggestion and my understanding of why the Chinas and the Japans and all the other countries, they want to see their people succeed. I feel like America really could give two shits if the next man makes it up. If you do, they're like, great. But the way they have it set up is only a few get to bust through that cloud and make it. And like I said, I can't be mad at it because it's self-preservation. They already made it and they don't want to allow others to do it. But so you got to understand that, break through the cloud yourself, and really, really, I hate saying innovative and diversify so much, but that's really what it comes down to. And stop following the path that they told you to follow and figure out what's next. Maybe that'll help people be more successful.
Yeah, just to echo what these guys said, it's time to take it into your hands. If you see that, we're at an average of 160 or 180 and China's at 245 to 260, am I saying be in the hustle culture and make your kids do all this stuff? I'm not. But did they need to play 4 sports, or do they need to play 1 to 2 and learn typing and learn some technology and AI?
I was gonna say foreign language. That's what I was gonna say earlier. Foreign
Foreign
language.
Foreign
Yeah.
language.
We need to kind of like step in and not. I think one thing we get to do is not just expect the government to do everything. I think it's crazy to send your kid to school and expect the government's curriculum to teach them everything they're going to know to be successful and happy and fulfilled in this life. We got to step that up. And I get you're tired after work and you got all this stuff, but we've got to step that up. One thing Kobe said that always inspired me, he said, I would come home after practicing 2-3 times a day, and my kids would want to play, and they don't care if I'm tired. I still need to take them to the park. I still need to take them to do this. And I think that's one thing we got to do. Like Gen Z, you got to take it on yourself. And then us raising the next generation, we got to take it on ourselves. Because if you do just let it be the average, you can see the average just isn't working anymore. Whether it's coming to higher rates, home prices and average income, it's not working anymore. So Gen Z, maybe you are doing some good things with not having as much sex, as much intimacy and connection. I think it's still needed. And you got to get out there and just be in those things that you're wanting to grow in. And maybe it's going to your guidance counselor, like, Sirod said. I did the same thing and said, hey, what things do pay? Where are the hirings happening? Where's the future growth in the job market? And somebody further along is able to tell you, hey, this market is growing. This market isn't maybe growing. And then you can take action from there instead of just kind of going through the motions and thinking that getting through school is going to get you there. It's not anymore. You got to wake up. So that was episode 19, Gen Z not having as much sex. And then we broke down all the other stuff. Thanks, you guys. As always, make sure you're sharing, commenting, liking, subscribing. We really appreciate all the support as we're giving you all the tips going from your 20s, 30s, and 40s. And if you got any suggestions for topics, let us know. And we appreciate y'all. Let's get it.